Who's your daddy?
We are back for our post 4th of July episode, so episode number 6.
Seis, if you're counting in Espanol.
If you're counting in Espanol, correct. So we are back. We're here for episode 6. I am Stephanie, apparently Boo Dancona.
Apparently Boo? Wait, why are you...
Apparently Boo. It was, all right, this went from being like a shared nickname to now it's just my nickname, which is fine. But I think that they know that Boo just means like the love that we have for each other is just Boo.
Do you know what you're trying to do right? Yeah, you're totally right with that. But you know what you're also trying to do right now? You're trying to like give yourself a nickname, which rule of thumb, that's never a good thing.
What nickname did I try to give myself?
The Pie-demic. You're clearly getting upset right now with the Boo nickname.
No, I was explaining it to the world. Don't listen. Do not call out a girl for speaking louder than you and pretend that I'm making a problem. No, I just said Pie-demic because it was a good line. You can call me whatever you want. We'll go with Boo.
I will call you lots of things.
Call me like we did in the cards game the other day, Farts Magic. We want to make that happen?
Oh my God. Yes.
I'm good?
We're going to get to that. That was delicious.
Okay, we'll get to Farts Magic later. Alan Snyder.
Wait, you cut all of my nicknames? My credentials, my nickname? Dr. Alan Snyder.
This is Dr. Alan Snyder, otherwise known by himself as...
Oh, Daddy, I thought you were going to say it. I thought you set me up. You tossed the wiffle ball. Oh, and I
so close. One day. All right, Alan Snyder, are you drinking or is it just me?
I am always drinking, Stephanie. Always drinking. I went back to the rabbit hole. I got another single cut Beersmith, except it's a little different because I don't even know if it has a name on here. It just has it says pour aggressively, and it says Eric. So I don't know if it's a single cut Eric, but it's brewed with chocolate, vanilla, and milk sugar. So I'm hoping this will be a little bit more
a milkshake. What you're drinking is a milkshake.
It is. It's called Eric More Cowbell. That's what it is.
Eric More Cowbell.
Have you had it?
No, but I've been to their breweries by me, and I've been there before and seen it up there.
All right.
The brewery's a couple blocks from me.
All right. Am I opening, or are we going to open together?
Oh, yeah. We didn't do that already? I just opened it. All right. 1, 2,
3. Oh, best sound in the world.
Best sound in the world.
So, yeah, I went back there. What are you drinking, Bo?
Oh, man. It's making its first, but absolutely not last appearance. I've been talking about Bud Light for so long, and I was trying to do something different. But you know what? We had a couple beers left over from 4th of July. And
I can't believe we had anything left over, but when you go...
I don't know how. Well, we had stuff left over because we continued buying 6-packs.
I was about to say, if you hit the bodega like 4 times, I don't know how there's anything left over.
No, we all cleared out numerous bodegas. So I brought back Bud Light. The crisp, always brewed using the choicest hops.
Choicest?
Choicest. The choicest hops, best barley malt, and rice. So it's kind of like breakfast in a can.
So you're drinking breakfast and I'm drinking dessert?
You're drinking dessert. So neither of us had proper meals today. All right,
L'chaim. Stephanie, I love what you did online. We posted it. It's on our Instagram, Booze Your Daddy, BOOSYOUR Daddy. I posted on TikTok and Twitter with your chipmunk voice with
the chipmunk.
Oh my God, with your Bud Light for vice president. I think that was so funny. I want to say,
it's true. Did you see that I put you down for first lady?
I did see that, and I don't even know how I feel about that right now because as of recent, we have a good shot of going from the first lady being Melania to the first lady being Kim, boobs not insured, but maybe her butt is, Kardashian. Yeah. And I am in my head debating on which one would be worse, weirder, whatever that is. Like, one has the topless pictures and does nothing, and the other one has the full-blown sex tape, but is actually doing some good in the world right now.
She does, but I feel like her and Kanye, Trump did a lot of stuff, but not all of it was on TV. She's got full-on porn everywhere. He's got things. Listen, I can't right now.
Can't even.
I can't even.
You can't even. But I want to put this down on record right now because we made a bet on July 4th.
Nope.
And we'll see what happens with that. So
all right. You know what? Let's not say what the bet is.
All right, but we have bets. That's good.
If we get Trump out of office, which means Biden in, not Kanye.
Oh.
I don't know if the bet's going to change if Kanye's in there. First of all, that's when I moved to Canada. No offense to Kanye. I just can't with USA right now.
All right. Got it.
So if we get Donald Trump out, we will reveal what the bet was.
All right.
And I will 100% stay with it, which
Cool.
I do with nothing. So
all right. So what do you got for me, Steph?
So what I got? So I was actually thinking of yesterday as I was buying, so we went to the bodega once on the way to the park, played some wiffle ball, bought some more beer at the bodega. And I was picking up the six packs and I was like, there was a very deja vu. And it was a deja vu to the last time I had a bunch of six packs in my hand. And it was a time that we went to karaoke and it was BYOB. And most people showed up with bottles of vodka and scotch and whatever. And I
You rolled up with multiple 12s of Bud Light, right?
Yes, multiple 12s of Bud Light.
But to be fair, they were for everybody. You didn't show up these are mine, everybody stay away. Yeah, you were very nice.
Because I knew that there were going to be people that probably didn't bring some, and there were people that were going to come late, leave early, so I'd rather have it all than have to go back out. And my favorite part of that party is, so you remember, I dressed up in my full Walrus costume.
Yeah, but it was Halloween, wasn't it?
No, it was regular night. That was just pulling a Stephanie.
Wait, was it near Halloween? Because I remember you were in a full-blown mascot suit as if you were cheering for some collegiate team the next day. But
I don't think it was that. If it was near Halloween, it was not. I did not do it because of Halloween.
Okay, you know what? In my head, it was near Halloween, and now I'm thinking about it. It may have been July, and you were just being you.
No, it was just me fully being me.
I love it.
So the best part was, I came from work, so I dressed at work with my regular clothes so we can go out for sushi first. So I had a bag with the clothes I had changed out of. And when we got there, halfway through the night, I put I guess you can call it a walrus onesie on. And you saw me putting it on because you described it as an infant trying to dress themselves.
Just because we were at this karaoke place and they had private, not studios, private rooms. And I forget what the bathroom was. It wasn't closed. And you were just nobody's around. I'm just going to go into the hallway. I mean, you had clothes on. You didn't get naked. You just put it over your clothes. Yeah. And I'm inside looking. I just look out and I'm like, oh my God, you were struggling. Just you've seen an infant dress themselves and they can't even get their foot through the pant leg because they can't figure out they need to angle their toes. So they're just trying to put a whole foot. That's kind of what it looked like.
Exactly what happened. But so you remember that I left a bag there. You had texted the next day and said, I have your bag, whatever. And in there were pants. They were the pants that I had changed out of at work. I know because they were orange and I think you were. So when I said, oh, those were my pants for work, you know now that I was fully clothed. Until I told you, you thought those were my only pants.
At the time, I did.
You were under the assumption that I took my pants off in the hallway.
And just freeballed it.
Put the suit on. I did not freeball it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have pants on. Ever. I've never been naked. Pants always.
Do you know what
just like in Arrested Development, never nude.
So that reminds me of a story that I'm going to come clean on right now because I've never told anybody this story. This is
even me?
No, this is just weird. So in middle school back, in Franklin, shout out Franklin Middle School, Baltimore County. We had uniforms and it was a blue on one side and white on the other. So it was reversible because when you'd play against each other, and I will never forget, I still feel so bad for this. If he ever hears this, I apologize so much. The guy next to me was this really nice kid. He didn't have a ton of friends. He was kind of nerdy. And, you change out of your clothes and you put them on the ground and then you grab them and you throw them into your locker and you turn the dial a couple times, make sure it's locked up. And when everybody runs upstairs and you don't want to be late, of course, and we're all upstairs waiting and this young guy comes up, t-shirt, underwear, Bobo socks and sneakers, and he didn't have any pants on. And the teacher looks at him and is like, dude, what's going on? And he says, I lost my pants. But like, he didn't wear his pants that he was wearing during the day. He just didn't have his gym shorts. And they're like, oh, I don't even remember how that story ends, but I remember going back down, and when I was changing, as I slowly was taking my clothes out, his gym shorts were in my locker because we kind of all had them down, and I grabbed the big ball and just threw it in, and I feel so bad.
Let me get this straight. So in lieu of him just wearing regular pants, he decided to just do underwear.
He went tighty-whities from the downstairs locker into the gym to be like
old man tighty, not boxer briefs.
Oh, this was tighty-whities.
He made that decision on his own.
Oh, he wasn't advertising. This was not an advertising thing. But yeah, so no,
he should feel bad for himself. He didn't do anything bad.
So that was a fun night. Did you have anything more? Can I segue now?
You want to? I know. Let's just do segue because there's so many things in there that I'll either pop in with them, save them for an episode.
So it's funny that you say that because my segue is that I remember that night. I have my different karaoke songs, and that night was the time I debuted, or at least sang, Hamilton for the Room, which is a crowd pleaser, and it's a great segue because Hamilton just dropped on the Disney Plus this past weekend. Have you watched it yet?
I have not. I saw it in person, so I don't really feel, and I don't have Disney Plus.
Right.
So
Disney Plus, $6.99 a month, and I think you can cancel it. So if anybody hears this and you want to see it,
I barely watch Netflix. We're good.
I respect that for you, but for other people who want to see Hamilton,
other people, normal people, yes, I prefer staring into a corner at the wall, questioning my life decisions as an activity.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you'd rather do that over watch Hamilton because Hamilton is pretty good.
Oh, it's amazing. Yes.
Right.
All right. So continue with whatever.
Right. Thanks. So
sorry, that was a little blunt. Hey, Alan, go on to your story now, boo.
All right, choke on it, Stephanie. But
ladies and gentlemen, uncalled for.
No, but I went and saw Hamilton in person. My girlfriend took me to see it a couple years ago, and we didn't get to see the first cast. We saw like cast number 3, whatever it was, and at that point, they're not picking the best performers. They're picking the best people that do the best impersonations of Lin-Manuel Miranda and Leslie Odom. I always want to say Lamar Odom. I have to stop myself. But
very, very different people.
So when we went to see it, and I've been telling this story for a couple of years now, I always have to say, so I went and saw Hamilton, and people go, did you love it? And I'm like, I know I'm not allowed to say this, but I thought it was just okay because I made a huge mistake. When I go see a Broadway show, I want to know nothing about it. I don't listen to the soundtrack. Yeah. I don't hear the soundtrack. I don't research what's going on. I want to go in and just be like, I want to experience it. And then afterwards, I'll download the soundtrack. I'll review it. I'll talk about it, whatever. Hamilton
You'll review it?
I'll do my reviews. I talk about it. I will go back and think.
Okay.
No, I don't have a separate. I'm not moonlighting as a Broadway analyst.
You mean by reviews, you mean talking about it with your friends? My
friends, my patients, anybody. I don't know if you picked up on this. Stephanie, I talk a little bit.
I'm aware we have a show.
So I would go around and I have to give these big prefaces. And I said, look, that is not the show to not know the words going into because it is it moves quick, not to mention American history, not my forte.
I don't think it's a lot of people's forte.
Yeah, but like even last night, not last night, a couple nights ago, I guess, when we were watching and, Hercules Mulligan comes on, I'm like, that's not a real person, right? And we could debate and we go, well, that's where a mulligan in golf comes from, right? Because a do-over, do a quick Wikipedia, no, that is not.
Not at all.
No, but all this stuff, I'm like, I've heard of these people, but I don't know who knows who and who knows what.
Listen, to be honest, there's a lot of shady things in our past, in our history. So it's not really that bad to, have selective memory when it comes to a lot of stuff. So you'll be okay. So was it good on Disney Plus? As good as in person? Better? Worse?
Well, you get the original cast, so it's worth watching. But they have this element, and shout out to my boy Kevin, Pride of Oceanside. He lives in Long Island, and he believes in the theory that I actually subscribe to. He doesn't like seeing things live because he says, if I want to hear the best version of something, I'll just get the CD because that's usually way better than a live performance. And personally, I think he's just a lazy person and doesn't want to leave Long Island ever. But there's some truth to that, because I have been listening to the soundtrack on Spotify, who also has our podcast, if anybody wants to listen to it there. And but I listen.
Our next guest is the entire original cast of Hamilton, for those who didn't know.
Oh my God. If we got the person who does the dry cleaning for the lighting guy, that would be a step up in the Booze Your Daddy podcast.
The room where it happens is literally going to be this weird ass corner of my kitchen.
So I've been listening to the soundtrack on Spotify for the last, 2 years. And now I'm going back and hearing the original cast do it live. There were moments in there that I'm like, you know what? The soundtrack is actually a little bit better than this live performance where people are just eating it up, except for the king. Oh my freaking God.
Yeah.
Jonathan Groff. Oh, if he would have me, believe me, that guy can do no wrong.
I saw him, so I didn't see him in that, but I saw him in Book of Mormon.
I didn't know he's the Book of Mormon. I know it's Andrew Reynolds.
About the same person he was.
Yeah, maybe. But no, he's fantastic. Apparently he was in Glee, and then he's in Mindhunters, which whatever. But that dude, and if you see the Hamilton, so they have the camera, really, really close to his face. He is spitting. It is a scene out of Gary Oldman, Joey from
now.
Yeah, it was.
I got it wrong.
What's that?
I gotta look this guy up because it's killing me.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of a different guy.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a different person. But yeah, that guy was in Glee, and he was very good. And I saw him in another play with the other chick from Glee, Leah Michele.
Leah Michele is very high up there on my list. I saw her in a Broadway show where.
She's high on your list? Spring Awakenings that I saw her at.
I saw her in Spring Awakening. Why don't we hold off on the Spring Awakening, because I have a decent story about that. But anyway, the Hamilton was awesome. I highly recommend it to anybody. But I got to thinking to myself, this is slow enough. I think I could write a quick little Hamilton rap about us. And you're going to be
write it already?
It's already done. It's not that great, but just something a little quick, something to entertain you. All right, and I'm going to throw it up to you. And you're going to finish the last sign, okay? So you just all you have to
I have to sing right now? Write a rap?
Listen, what's the name of this podcast, Stef?
Who's Your Daddy?
The Booze Your Daddy podcast. That's all you got to say, okay?
Oh, okay, got it.
All right. Do you know the opening to the very first song? Do you want to count me in? Do you know the bump ba-da-da-dum dum dum boo-doo-doo? All right, so I got to do that part too.
I don't usually listen when I re-listen to stuff. I don't listen to that part.
All right, so something really quick for us.
FYI, ladies and gentlemen, had he prepared me for this, I could have done that. I could have sang along. I could have dropped a beat. But no, flying out of here with my button on. Is that a saying?
All you have to say with your button on?
Button the wind.
Oh, your butt's in the wind. All you have to say is the Booze the Daddy podcast. That's it.
Okay. All right, let's go. All right, I got it.
Bump, ba 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 bump, bump, bump. Boo-doo-doo. How does two dodgeballer best friends get their own podcast? Persistence, insistence, just to make their friends laugh. She works for the corporate lawyer. He's from straight out of Baltimore, a union. The power nobody beats off in the shower. Then a pandemic came with no one else to blame. Here's an idea. With some fear, we'll always talk about some beer and laugh and joke and poking at each other, and the world's gonna know our name. What's our name, Boo?
Booze the Daddy, the podcast. That was so good.
There you go.
Your talent's wasted on this piece of piece.
Talent solution?
Huh?
Talent solution? Is that what you said?
No. You're so talented.
Oh, thank you.
You did great. Right. That was great.
Thank you. Okay. I wanted to make that longer, but I thought that would be good for that.
We'll just do a little clip it. You know what? Maybe each week do a different verse. I'll do a verse for next week. You do a verse the weekend later, and maybe we can chop something together. Maybe we can do the whole album, which I'm sure everybody wants to listen to, me and you.
Nobody.
The entire album.
Nobody does. You ready for trivia, Boo?
I am not ready for trivia, but let's do it anyways.
All right. Now, I want to give you a preface for this week's trivia because this is not factual stuff. Let me give you the premise first, okay?
Yeah. Yep.
So I got recommended on Facebook. You know, they're always like, here's an article you might like by Esquire magazine. And I was like, oh, geez, what have I been clicking on that Esquire magazine thinks I need to read some stuff?
Oh, wait, can I have a quick interjection to that? So all sites now do that. Like no matter what article you read, like Amazon, you buy one thing and for the rest of your life, and like you may like this, and you're like, no. So one time, years and years and years ago, right in the midst of 50 Shades of Grey, I bought it, down on my bookshelf, read them numerous times, love it. So I bought it through there, and I guess I had like rated it, which I never rate things on Amazon because as soon as you do, it's basically like, hey, one time you bought diapers, would you also like to look at screwdrivers? Like it has no idea what it's doing.
Oh,
So,
but the formula for that is not close at all. Diapers to screwdrivers.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. That's how they get there. So I bought 50 Shades of Grey, and weeks later it said, because you like 50 Shades of Grey, here are your recommendations. And the first recommendation was like a baby's Curious George book. I don't know how Amazon got from A to Z on that, but I had to screenshot it because that was like two completely different audiences, extremely inappropriate. So that's when I unrated 50 Shades of Grey because things were getting weird real fast.
I was really hoping, okay, I see that the transition is 50 Shades of Grey, yada, yada, yada. I need to buy baby books. I thought this was going to get real kinky. I thought it was going to be,
I'll
50
save that
Shades
for
of
a
Grey.
different episode.
Okay, well, I
had those
think you almost just pulled a January Joe on me. So no more talking about Curious George for the moment.
Okay. Oh, there we go. All right.
So this article that I saw, is 40 things. They started describing something called the Mandela Effect. Now, you're familiar with Nelson Mandela, right?
Yes.
Well, the Mandela Effect is kind of like revisionist history. This is what we all kind of know and think, except
right,
it's
and this
not
is the actual truth.
right. So specifically, the Mandela Effect was created because people tend to think Nelson Mandela died for apartheid and everything that happened, and he died in jail. And except that's not what happened. He actually passed. Right. He passed away, I think, like 6-7 years ago. Not worth getting into. So it's revisionist history. Now I'm going to give you the heads up with this trivia.
Okay.
They're all kind of trick questions, but they're very basic, easy questions, but they're a little bit tricky. So just take that into
have to do with the Mandela Effect.
Because I am going to tell you something that you're going to be like, wait, that's an easy question. And then you might want to stop and think about it because what you think is the right answer, it just isn't. Because we've always thought this, but apparently that's just not true.
All right. This is first of all, I gave you a real easy one last episode. This sounds like.
All right. You ready?
All right, well, next week, yeah. Are we still going with 5 questions?
5 questions. You ready for the first one? Now, I don't love that we have each other spell stuff, but this is an easy one. You know the fabric smelly cleaner thing, Febreze? You're familiar? Spell Febreze.
Okay.
All right. Now, number 2. This is going to be a singing thing, but I'm going to sing a song that you've heard 18 bajillion times.
Yeah.
You just have to finish it. Just give me just tell me when you're done, okay?
Yep.
All right. So the Queen.
Sing it now, or I have to write it down.
This is going to be. You know what? You're going to write it down, okay? But I'm going to sing. So the Queen song, "We Are the Champions." You've heard that a bajillion times, right?
Yep.
Okay. So in the last verse, I guess it's kind of the chorus, but the last verse, I'm going to start it, and you just have to write the ending to it. It's not that bad, okay? So it goes, "We are the champions, my friends, bam, bam, bam." That's it. That's all you're getting. Just finish it from there.
I have to write the whole thing?
Write the whole thing down. Or if you just want to sing it, you don't even have to write it. I mean, it's just you're going to be performing this.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
All right. I am not a Star Wars nerd, but this is question number 3. Question number 3. I'm not a big Star Wars nerd, but a lot of people are. The robots in Star Wars, right? You have the little trash can looking guy is R2-D2, correct?
Yeah.
And then you have his friend is C3PO, right?
Yeah.
C3PO, this isn't the question. He is what color? You know this, right? Say it out loud. He's gold?
Gold. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, one of his appendages is not gold. It is silver, which This is like one of those like, what? No, he's completely gold, right? No. I need you to name which appendage is silver. Oh my God, you wrote that so quick.
Well,
You have a 1 out of 4 chance, right? I mean, like, this isn't some trick thing. It's either.
I'm gonna go with what I wrote.
What you wrote. Beautiful. Okay. Number 4. Spell. Shout out to my boy Dezoobs. Spell double stuff Oreos. Double stuff Oreos.
Okay.
And question number 5. Curious George, which apparently if you rate things on Amazon, you should start getting recommendations.
Yeah.
Curious George was cute little monkey, right?
Monk. Yeah.
How long was his tail?
Got it.
Okay. Stephanie, question number 1. Spell Febreze.
Febreze.
That is correct. There is
the same article you did, babe.
Oh my God. And you remembered all the stuff? Good for you.
Not all of them.
All right. You got all.
I know the second one though. The second one.
All right. So, but you're going to have to perform it. Okay. Good for you. I thought it'd be like Febreze, a little Italiano, but that's so weird.
I wrote it twice because I knew it was something weird.
That is so weird. All right. So question number 2 then we have, we are the champions, my friends. Bom, bom, bom.
So I have to preface this with, you're going to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm actually right because I tested this out. And we'll keep on fighting to the end. We're the champions.
Wait. You're singing this. We are the champions.
My friends, and we'll keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, because we are the champions. That article tells you to stop there, but of the world.
So
it does happen. If you go to it, it is the exact last verse. I have tested it. You're
wrong. I literally went onto Spotify. Now, the last, the song ends with 2. It ends with 2 choruses or 2 verses, whatever that is. And the first one they say it. The end of the song. The last one does not. It doesn't.
All right, so I'm not wrong because the end of a verse is of the world. So how is that wrong?
Because I said the last verse. But you know what? You get the point because you knew what I was getting at. But for the people out there, the end of the song, it hits that verse twice. And the second time it goes, and we are the champions. And there's nothing. I did it yesterday. It doesn't. The very last one ends. One time they say it. The second time they do not. Question number 3, C3PO. He's made of all gold, except one of his appendages is silver.
I don't. So the first 2 I remember. The other 3 I do not.
Good.
I want to go with either his foot or like his genital plate.
Okay. So I'll just tell you that it is either an arm. It's one of his arms or one of his legs. It's not a foot. Like so pick an arm or a leg. Left arm. It is his right leg is silver.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So not his foot or his jockstrap. All right.
Well, it would have been. If you would have said right foot, I would have given it to you, but it was just.
I said foot.
Yeah, but then you changed it to left arm. I said it could be one of the arms, one of the legs.
All right.
Number 4. Number 4. Spell double stuff Oreos.
So the word double. I have to spell double. DOUBLE. Stuff STUF.
Oreos. How do you spell Oreos?
OREOS.
So yeah, give yourself the point because stuff in double stuff is STUF, not STUFF. That is.
Or some people think it's stuffed with an ED at the end.
It is not. It is not stuff. But you weren't surprised by that. You knew it was STUF, like Stef.
That I knew already. You're forgetting that my brother is an Oreos engineer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you did. We talk about it a bajillion times already.
We talk about everything. It's so hard to remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brother is an engineer for Oreos. Although I can get Oreos cheaper than most Americans. It's a perk of the job.
Oh, so I'm afraid to bring this up, but after we watched Hamilton the other night, we just kept the Disney plus going and
Yeah.
watch the original Mighty Ducks. Gordon Bombay.
Oh, yes. We talked about this. What happened to Goldberg?
Right, Goldberg's sad story, and watching that, like I've played hockey my whole life. That is an iconic show for me, and I know every line. I mean, I was barely paying attention. I know every word to that movie. I did not pick up on it. And I'm afraid to say it because I mean, you know what? If we go viral and they get canceled, it happens. But at the end of the movie, when they're playing the Hawks, Emilio Estevez goes to put out a line where also I didn't remember this. And I texted some friends, Jussie Smollett of, recent Empire. He's in that movie. There's two black kids and he's not the one who talks the most. He's the other one.
Kind of in the movie, right?
He's very in the movie, but there's the father who takes off work and he has his two sons that he goes to play with. And the one has like a huge part. The other one's just kind of like his brother. That is Jussie Smollett. I did not know that.
So I thought, I knew he was in there somewhere. I thought he was more in the background.
No, oh yeah, he's in the background. So I texted one of my friends. I was like, "Did you know Jussie Smollett was in Mighty Ducks?" He goes, "Dude, when everything happened and he was like in the news, I thought that's the guy he was famous for." He goes, "I did not know that he has had a career since then."
Just the backup person,
right?
The Mighty Ducks was his claim to fame.
Stephanie, growing up as a hockey player, that movie is everything to us. I mean, you don't think I did the triple deke, the flying V? I mean, I play hockey forever, but at the end of that movie, Coach Gordon Bombay, who needs a goal, he turns to he turns to those guys and one of the other kids, and he goes, "All right, the Oreo line, get out there." And I stopped and I was like, "Whoa, are we allowed to say that?" Like, the two black kids and the white kid were calling the Oreo line now? Or at least then? I mean, that's
very upsetting.
I'm telling you, Stephanie, I could write most of those lines out of that movie. I didn't even pick up on that until I watched it the other night.
People have selective memory when it comes to stuff that they don't want to remember.
Oh, Jesus. That all right, don't get canceled. Question number 5.
Well, you're here saying that it was a line that you can't believe made it then.
Yeah. I guess it would be, I guess it would be okay because I don't ever say this, but have you ever heard of people saying he's a Milano or he's an Oreo cookie? It's not such a nice thing, but I want
to punch them in the face. Yeah.
That's not cool. I don't use those things, but I was just thinking and the Oreo line or the Milano line, I'm not ever going to say that, but when they had that in a Disney Plus, what's that movie rated? PG, maybe it's not PG-13.
Did they have a precursor before it? Because a lot of movies that have any kind of racially insensitive things now all have precursors, this may be culturally outdated, whatever. I guess that probably went under the radar.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's under the radar, but the other thing we picked up on was the intro to that movie was 4 minutes, which I'm like, oh my God, let's go. I know we're doing the credits they took forever.
Keep going.
Question number 5, Curious George, how long was his tail?
He did not have a tail.
He didn't have a tail. And that was one of those things where, you knew that clearly because you would have said how many inches or how many feet or whatever. But that's one of those things where if you said to me right now, draw Curious George,
he would have a tail.
It would have a little tail or a little boxer nub. You know, how the boxer dogs have a little nub.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little digga. I would give him that, but.
Yes, I encourage anybody who finds this super interesting, which is everybody because you're listening to it on the show, to look it up because there are some things that will blow the bottom out of your pants because they're so insane because there are these things you're convinced your entire life are one way. And then you're like, wait, that didn't happen.
I mean, so Julia has a good friend, Clarice, her name, lovely girl. We went to her wedding. She's when she talks to somebody, it's like, oh, hi, what's your name? Do you know? And she goes, oh, I'm so-and-so. I'm Clarice. Every single person. They go, hello, Clarice. They think they're the most.
Not say that or something.
Well, one, the people are jerks because, by the way,
idiots.
You're not original, okay?
Yes.
Actual line from the movie is, good morning, Clarice. It is not hello, Clarice. Yeah, that was on there too.
I was watching a comedy special with Hannibal Buress.
Oh, he's so good. He's so funny.
Amazing. So he talks about in one of his shows that everybody thinks, everyone's like, oh, you named, Hannibal, the movie, whatever. And he's like, no, it was born way before that. And you also know that, Hannibal was a name at some point. I don't appreciate my parents calling me that, but, it was a name first.
Yeah, you can't change your name. I always feel bad for somebody who's born. I have patients that are born on September 11th, and they come in and they're like, "Oh, hi, my birthday is this." I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of a weird one." But at the same time, if you have the name of, I mean, pick anything. You could be freaking, pick a name, Greg Hardy. We'll just say, okay, because that's the one that first came in my head. And that's your name forever. And then some football player becomes Greg Hardy. And you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then he gets arrested for domestic abuse. And then he becomes and now every single time you say Greg Hardy, you have, that's like in Baltimore, one of the main guys who does sports talk radio is Jerry Sandusky. And he's popular and he's famous, but he is Jerry with a G. And he still to this day gets hate mail being like, "You pedophile, you terrible person." He's like,
you should change that name. I'm sorry. You can't ever have.
He's an established sportscaster who's a grown adult with kids. That you can't do that. So
sorry. Listen, each man his own, yes. But Hannibal, Clarice, Jerry with the G.
Yeah, it happens. But speaking of names, I wanted to segue to something that one of our avid listeners said, "Why don't you guys talk about?" Because
you didn't prepare me for this.
It's okay because I'm going to give you the information. But one of my friends, because we mentioned this briefly last time about the Washington football team, and it has picked up a lot of steam.
It has. In the one, like, we had that episode, and then a day later it exploded. Let's not pretend like obviously it wasn't a thing. It was just very coincidental that we talked about it, and by the next morning, me and you were texting each other articles like every 30 seconds. So yes, let's talk about the Washington team.
The Washington football team, which I'm curious on your thoughts of, I wrote down what the popular picks right now are if the name does get changed.
Yes.
You want me to read them to you and you can tell me your thoughts?
I know the top two.
What are the top two?
The Red Tails and the Warriors.
Okay. So Red Tails, I think that just sounds really strange. Here's the problem with Warriors, which I thought was good. I was reading something the other day actually, and Warriors, so Marquette, the university, they were the Marquette Warriors up until 94, and then they got in trouble, and now they're the Marquette Golden Eagles. So Warriors isn't exactly the most PC thing in the world either.
It doesn't really make sense that that's like their third up. Like, guys, figure it out.
Seriously, right? Like, you got to go.
It's gonna be Red Tails.
So
and what I also think is, I think what's gonna work for that is because it still has red, and so many people that have not wanted to call them by their given name have gone with variations of either just the reds or skin. So I think it having the color name in the title, there are like sports memorabilia, signs, all this stuff that just would feature red, the color red, whatever. But I think it's a very easy tie-in. Plus, it's got an amazing backstory, and I feel like if they're going to actually change and do something, they might as well do it really good, really well.
Really well. Yeah, so the ones I saw that I thought were very interesting, I'm so annoyed with the Sentinels and then this whole push for, let's just call them the Replacements. And because I grew up with, the Replacements came out with, Keanu Reeves and Shane Falco. And then when January Joe became the quarterback, Ray Lewis has been on TV when first couple of years being like, that Joe Falco, he is great. I mean, so I still have repressed memories from the Sentinels. I think that's stupid. I think Seminole is also weird just because they kind of have the same colors as Florida State, which makes no sense.
I mean, like, I think what they're trying to do, like, guys, go away from this and just make it a new thing. Stop being so concerned about just make it a new fucking thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it right, do it all the way.
Do it all the way. Pigskins, I thought was...
Don't be a vagina about it.
There it is. I thought Pigskins was okay. A couple of good ones that I really liked. I saw the Washington Federals, and then you can change that to the Feds, which becomes a really good nickname.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I would not hate having that jersey.
The Feds was pretty good. Then because Uncle Dan is the owner, and in a coincidence where right now I'm still okay that I have the same last name, not that I would ever change my last name as you just suggested for Jerry Sandusky, but the Washington Snyders. I would really enjoy that because he is...
It's not going to happen.
But he is so cocky and such an arrogant prick.
Absolutely.
Would that surprise you? Of all the things, I'd be like, all right, Washington Snyder's.
I mean, it's not going to go, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was like, hey, man, let's do this, or like the Danny Boys.
The Danny Boys is good. Hey, Danny Boy.
They already got a song. Let's go with the
pipes. The pipes are calling.
You don't need a new fight song. You got the Danny Boy. Done. I solved it already, guys.
Yeah, but I'm not related to Dan Snyder, although my grandfather was Daniel Snyder, not the same guy.
Same thing.
Well,
Jerry with a G Sandusky, Jerry with a J Sandusky. Two different Jerrys.
Right. Do you know how many times that telling somebody, like if I ever use at a pickup line, I was like, so the Washington football team, the owner is Dan Snyder. I'm related to that. Do you know how often that works as a pickup line?
Never.
0% of the time, because most women don't care about football, don't know who that is, and certainly when I start explaining, they're like, "Oh, wait, that's weird."
Ooh, not that guy.
Not that guy.
Listen,
but
when it becomes the Red Tails, you can say that. I mean, you also have a girlfriend, so please don't go using that line. But I can say my friend is the son, nephew, whatever, of the Red Tails owner. So easily that rolls off the tongue, Red Tails, like not a big deal.
I don't know. The number one, my favorite name for the new Washington football team, which is kind of weird, the Washington Monuments. I really like that.
I don't hate that, but right now we're tearing down a lot of monuments, so it really also doesn't make sense because a lot of the monuments that we have, if we're going with that, are kind of shitty. So I feel like we can't have a team and then also be like, hey, we really need to get rid of them, which, without getting too political, I do think we need to do. So it's kind of hard to have a team and then also get rid of a lot of the monuments.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So we'll see what happens with this. I had so much fun with you July 4th weekend, and we got to do something. Weekend. We'll talk about this maybe next time just because I want to wrap it up here. I had kind of forgot.
Oh, you got stuff to do? You got other friends? Is that what you're saying?
I got to eat dinner is what's happening.
Oh, all right. Well, there's that. All right, fine.
I totally forgot about Ranger Poacher Bear because I forget Ranger Poacher Bear is so much fun. And for those people who don't know about that, it is an alternative to rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors is for children.
It's for babies.
It's for babies. Ranger Poacher Bear is way more fun. We will talk about this on our next episode, but check out the Instagram. I will post a video of me playing and losing Ranger Poacher Bear.
Yes, you did. And big ups again. Mike Simon gets a lot of shout outs on this show. He's the one that brought it to us, isn't he? I
don't know if it was Simon or Laddie, but they didn't invent that, so I'm not giving him that much credit.
Didn't invent it. You know what? You didn't invent beer pong, but thank you for making me better at it.
But every single guy in college thinks they invented the power I formation. They're like, can you put the cups? Oh, it's a power I. It's like, bro, you're not original.
It's a straight line.
It's a straight line. Yeah, when you're putting two cups in a row. But
Pretty sure the caveman got that first. All right, Alan, you can go eat your dinner. I wish you the best.
I had so much fun. All right, everybody who's still in at this point, make sure you hit the subscribe. Tell somebody about the podcast. Give us a follow. Love you, boo.
Love you, boo.
We out.
Boo out.